The carriage arrived in a cloud of red dust, rolling to a stop as the last light stretched long across the San Juan Basin. Callum Briggs stood on his porch, hat twisting nervously in his hands, heart thudding the way it had for weeks, steady, hopeful, terrified. He expected Evelyn Brower, the soft-spoken woman from the East whose letters had warmed the quiet corners of his solitary life. But the woman who stepped down from the carriage was not her. Dark hair spilled over her shoulders. Her boots touched the dirt with the quiet confidence of someone who'd learned long ago not to depend on steady ground. Her eyes, deep, wind-touched, unbroken, found his and held steady, as if she already knew him. Before he could speak, she said softly, almost like a vow, "It's not a mistake. I'm yours." The wind stilled. Callum forgot how to breathe. Nothing about his life felt familiar anymore. Dawn brushed pale gold over Briggs Creek Ranch, warming the yucca and sandstone ridges, stretching across the thin ribbon of water that gave the homestead its name. The air smelled of sage and the cold of night, sharp enough to remind a man he was small beneath the wide western sky. Callum stepped out into the early light, boots sinking into dust packed by years of his own footsteps. 5 years alone on this land. 5 years of mornings where the only voices were the creak of saddle leather or the whisper of wind slipping through the grass. Solitude was a habit he'd never asked for but had somehow learned to live with. Inside the small guest room, Tala Wenona sat awake on the edge of the narrow bed. She braided her hair with slow, deliberate movements. Her features, soft at the mouth, strong at the brow, held an earthy beauty shaped by road and hardship, not mirrors or expectations. Her hands carried faint marks from a life she no longer spoke of, calluses from grinding corn, small scars from camp tools, memories of a tribe that scattered long before she found this ranch. She studied the room, a tin cup, a faded blanket, a window looking out over desert emptiness, as though deciding whether such simplicity could be trusted. The silence here felt different. Not sharp. Not judging. But silence had deceived her before. Callum hovered near the porch longer than he meant to. When Tala stepped outside, the morning light caught her hair, and their eyes met, his wary, hers unreadable. Something unspoken took shape in the space between them. "You weren't expecting me," Tala said evenly. "No," Callum admitted, fingers curling around his hat brim. "I wasn't expecting anyone like you." A flicker passed through her eyes, too brief to name. She nodded, accepting the truth without flinching. "I'll work for my stay. Just one night, then I'll go." "You don't owe me anything," Callum said softly. "Come inside. It's cold." Tala hesitated on the threshold, as though stepping into someone else's home required more bravery than crossing a desert. She set her small bundle down gently, not assuming she could keep it there. Callum busied himself with the kettle, hands trembling slightly as he lit the stove. As steam rose from the cups, he finally asked, "Why did you come here?" "There was nowhere else left," she said. "And your name reached me when I needed it most." "My name?" She didn't elaborate. They sat across from each other, steam lifting between them like a fragile veil. "You're not who I wrote to," Callum said. "And you're not who I imagined," Tala replied gently. "But here we are." She rose before he could respond. "Show me the land. So I know the place I'm borrowing a night from." He nodded. They walked in quiet along the pasture fence, the morning settling warm over the valley. Tala listened to the land, the rustle of grass, the creak of the old corral gate, the soft burble of the creek. These sounds twisted something inside her, tugging at memories she tried to bury. "You take care of all this alone?" she asked. "Most days," Callum said. "Hiram Boone helps sometimes. He talks too much. He seems like someone who likes knowing things." "About people," Callum corrected. "He signed me up for the bride agency. Said no man should eat dinner with just the wind." "So, it wasn't your idea?" "Not at first. But I wanted something to change. I just didn't expect it to look like you." She didn't flinch at the honesty. Instead, she adjusted her stride so they walked evenly. They reached the old wooden bridge. One plank dipped, ropes frayed. Tala froze. The creek below churned with recent rain. Memories surged, floodwater, shouting, her tribe scattering in chaos. Callum noticed her trembling. You don't have to cross. I do. He stepped ahead, testing each board. Halfway across, the wood cracked beneath her. She slipped, breath tearing out of her. But Callum reached her, hand gripping her arm. Don't look down, he whispered. Look at me. She did. And his calm pulled her back from the edge of panic. When they reached the far side, she exhaled shakily. You saved me, she said. You weren't falling. You just needed steadying. No, she whispered. You saved more than that. They sat near the creek a while. When he said, I look at you like I want to understand what you don't show, she felt her breath catch. They walked back with their shadows touching. The peace broke when Hiram's riderless mare came pounding up the road. Callum and Tala mounted quickly, and they found Hiram sprawled near a scrub oak, leg broken. Tala's hands were sure and gentle as she set the splint, tearing a strip from her own dress without hesitation. Back at the ranch, lying in Callum's bed, Hiram smirked. You two move like a married pair. Tala's cheeks warmed. Callum fumbled for words. Then Hiram's tone shifted. You know Evelyn didn't come, he said quietly. Saw her in Mesa Ridge. Looked frightened. Bruised. She took a stage east. Tala stiffened. She trusted me, Callum whispered. She trusted us, Tala corrected softly. To give her enough time to run. Callum turned to her. You came here knowing you weren't her. Yes. Not to deceive you. But because your name was spoken kindly once. And kindness is rare for people like me. I hoped, you wouldn't turn me away. The truth settled into the room like slow dusk, heavy, but connecting them instead of dividing. Outside, night deepened over the ranch, and for the first time, the land didn't feel empty. Not to either of them.